Hello. Good to see all of you. It's 8 p.m. Top of the morning. Not top of the morning. In fact, your morning is coming to an end. Your night is starting and your night is coming to an end. If you're Renedy Singh, then your night is, yeah, somewhat coming to an end. If you're Richard Hood, then to रज़ाई ओढ़ चुकी गई है अभी तक. Yeah. But if you're me, if you're Siddhant, then तो the night is just starting. अभी तो गेम शुरू हुई है दोस्त. क्योंकि बात यहाँ पे भाई 3 मुकाबलों की हो रही है. वो घड़ी आ गई है. वो घड़ी आ गई है जिसका सबको इंतजार था. इंतजार तो नहीं था क्योंकि भाई यहाँ पे ना हम लास्ट स्टेज पे आए हैं क्वालिफाई करने के लिए. सो इन द सेंस कि आप रस्सी चढ़ रहे हो. पहले आप चढ़े थोड़ा गिरे. ठीक है जी, वो फेज हुआ. फिर आप चढ़े थोड़ा गिरे. अब आप आ गए जी लास्ट ड्रॉप. अब आपको एक और जी डाली दी जा रही है उठ के यहाँ पे एशियन कप 2023 में क्वालिफाई करने के लिए. हम देख रहे हैं 420 grams. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we have a full house today. We're joined by Richard Hood, we're joined by Ishfaq Ahmed, we're joined by Renedy Singh, we're joined by Jaydeep, and we are going to be joined by Siddhant Ani, who is late because he's late, but no problem. आज काफ़ी बातचीत होगी. आप ये ना सोचो कि हम वही बकवास कर रहे हैं कि जी स्टी मैच, अटैकिंग फुटबॉल. हमारे साथ एक ऐसे प्राणी है जिन्होंने कंबोडिया की थोड़ी एनालिसिस करी है भाई. तो वो कंबोडिया के बारे में हमें बताएंगे. उनका नाम है रिचर्ड हुड. बट गुड टू सी ऑल ऑफ यू ऑन द शो सर. एंड इट्स अ बिग वीक. रेडी भाई, आई विल स्टार्ट विद यू. Is this a very big week for Indian football? Keeping in mind all that's happened and what's at stake right now.
यस, हम लोग ने अभी तो काफ़ी बड़ा वीक है. जैसा आपने बोला कि हम लोग अभी फ्रेंडलीज तो खेल के वापस आया है एंड वी हैव टॉक इनफ. अच्छा रैंक के साथ खेला है, अच्छा नहीं खेल सका है या लड़का लोग पूरा नहीं दे सका है. I feel that this is a time where the boys, I'm sure the boys are ready. The coach is ready to give our best so that we, the Indian fans, can enjoy the beautiful game of football for next 3 matches. And I'm looking forward.
इशफाक, क्या है सर आपका एज एक्सपेक्टेशन कि जी कैसे भी पहुंचो पर पहुंचो. सेकंड प्लेस पे पहुंचना है. टीम जीतना है, जीतो. आपको कोई लेना देना नहीं, पहुंचो बस, खत्म कहानी.
मुझे लगता है कि जिस स्टेज में अभी हम लोग चल रहे हैं, जैसे मैचेस हमने पीछे खेले हैं जो एग्जैक्टली रेनेडी भाई बोल रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है कि सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है कि पहले क्वालिफाई करो. मुझे नहीं लगता है कि ये ऐसा एक स्टेज है यहाँ पे, इवन इफ आई एम अ कोच फॉर और रेनेडी भाई, कोई भी हम लोग में से जो भी कोच रहता है, तो वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट इज कि पहला मैच फर्स्ट स्टेप, बट मेन गोल है कि क्वालिफाई करना है. बिकॉज दैट्स फॉर द नेशन, यू नो, लाइक वी वांट टू बी देयर. वी वांट टू, यू रिमेंबर हमने जब पहले शो किए थे, तो वी वांट टू बी वन ऑफ द टीम वो जो कंसिस्टेंटली क्वालिफाई कर रहे हैं. Yes. अब कोई मतलब अगर टीम्स भी बढ़े, बट देन वी शुड बी ऑलवेज वन ऑफ द टीम जो क्वालिफाई कर रहे हैं. तो मेरे हिसाब से जो खेले इसको खिलाए, मुझे उससे लेना देना कोई नहीं है. भाई मैच जीतो और क्वालिफाई कराओ.
रिचर्ड, इज इट एज इजी एज इट साउंड्स ऑन पेपर? कंबोडिया है, हांगकांग है, अफगानिस्तान है, पहुंच जाएंगे.
अफगानिस्तान छोड़ के बाकी 2 टीम लग रहा है कि I mean, it should be as easy as it sounds on paper. लेकिन I think
qualifying. But Afghanistan has some. Sorry. Hong Kong has some. They've given dual nationality. So I think they.
नहीं भाई, पर वो भी ऐसा नहीं है कि ब्राजील के टॉप प्लेयर्स आए और कुछ मतलब छुपा हुआ सोना इनको मिला और डाल दिया अपने नेशनल टीम में. तो we shouldn't take that also into so much of credit कि ब्राजील के प्लेयर्स है, ये हो जाएगा वो हो जाएगा. I mean. They haven't had a great run up to these 2 matches also. I mean, it's not that it's changed the fortunes also. It's not bringing in Brazilians hasn't changed the footballing fortunes. ये कुछ super power ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं. तो मतलब वो एक फैक्टर लेकर इतना कहानी बनाना उसके आगे पीछे, I don't think that's fair. I mean, it's definitely a beatable team. It's far inferior to what Renedy played all those years ago. Compared to whatever standard there is now, उनका लीग डूब गया है. I mean, overall the team isn't what it used to be also. I mean, पहले भी इतना कुछ खास नहीं था. But it's and most of the Brazilians are all in their 30s. मतलब सब अभी, I mean, it's wearing legs and things. So वो Brazil factor देखकर dual nationality दिया है. I mean, we shouldn't be harping on it as much as people actually are. नहीं लग रहा है. I mean, apart from Afghanistan, बाकी 2 टीम beatable है भाई. मतलब on paper जो भी equations निकालने हैं, definitely beatable.
In a sense, Jaydeep sir, then it's set up perfectly, right? कि आप जी दोनों अफगानिस्तान और इंडिया पहले जी कंबोडिया और हांगकांग को साइड करो, और फिर आखिरकार में जो वो टॉप टीम होने वाली है आपके बीच में फाइनल होने वाले दोनों टीमों के बीच में.
On paper, so Arjun, it looks like it's a group where it will be difficult not to qualify. That's what I think.
Difficult not to qualify.
Qualify. Yeah, it should be. It should be like that. But what I am, see, I'm not. I don't care about how the other teams are, because the other three teams, except for Afghanistan, the other two teams are not much to care about, frankly speaking. Unka analysis, I don't want to watch their matches or to analyze them. That is a waste of time, I think. Given their standard, given their positions in the FIFA ranking, everything. But I am afraid about our own team, because somehow or the other, the utterings of our coach and their captain in the last 7 days, it's not giving me. It's not giving me a lot of confidence. See, everybody is talking in a manner. Like Sunil said, we have to look into the Cambodia match first. But I remember Renedy was there 6-7 years ago. 15 years ago, we beat them 6-0 in Delhi. I still remember. We were runaway winners. Sunil himself scored 2 goals in that. Baichung scored 2, I think. I think NP Pradeep and also Renedy will remember.
वो टीम अलग थी सर, वो टीम पकी हुई टीम थी, एक साथ पके थे वो तो
कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन हमारा स्टैंडर्ड इतना खराब नहीं हो गया कि 10 साल में कि कहना है कि यार देखना पड़ेगा. Then coach is why he's talking about Brazilians and Afghanistan players playing in foreign countries. What is the big deal about it? Why? What is the big deal about it? It happened, if you remember, 6 or 7 years ago, when I think it was 2015 or 2016, when we lost to Guam. 2017. You remember we lost to Guam? We lost to Guam, and the coach, after coming back to India, he only talked about how the Guam players are playing in the US league, and that's why they could beat India. And India should also take Indian players from Europe and all these things, he said. But once in Bangalore, India beat them comfortably, 1 goal only, but beat them quite comfortably. Then there was no talk about these things. So that's what keeps me wondering that what's happening. Why so much of? See, we should talk about that. We'll be runaway winners in this group. We should steamroll every team. If we can't do this in this group, then I will be hugely disappointed. I would say hugely disappointed.
Messaging from a coach before a game, what kind of an impact does it have on players? Because see, media में आपने भी बहुत काम किया है, मैंने भी बहुत काम किया, and you've been on the other side as a player as well. अक्सर जो मीडिया में बोला जाता है, it's to build a narrative. It's not generally what someone might feel. I'm saying not all the times, right? So you could have a different conversation in your dressing room, saying that I'm going out and saying all this in the media. Don't read too much into it. Do players read too much into what a coach is saying during your time?
Yeah, but no. But if the players are clever, if the coach is clever enough, but he will always inform that, yeah, see, I'm saying this for the media, but do not read too much on it. So then the coach is clever, and we should do this way, because some coaches wants to show the fans a different thing, and the players is keeping them ready. So if the player read too much, I think it will affect. But then, in social media world, players are reading. So I think it's better to inform the players before he says that this is what I'm going to say. So don't think much, And this is just for the fans and the supporters. So yeah, I think that's a smart move. But the only thing is how fans take it is the only thing that we have to think. Otherwise, for players, I think he's smart enough. He is clever enough to make them understand.
Ishfaq, if I'm seeing the tweets, I'm just saying, okay, you're just kind of saying कि suppose कुछ problem हुई, then देखा हमने तो बोला था. I'm just reading into सर, क्योंकि ये मैं अपना काम है. हम मीडिया में जब किसी से कोट लेते हैं, आज की दुनिया ऐसी होगी कि जी जो भी बोल रहा है आदमी छाप दो. पर हम पहले एनालाइज करते थे क्यों बोल रहा है ऐसे ये, किस लिए बोल रहा है.
But I will tell you one thing on the other way. I will tell you. Both Renedy bhai and me, we have been interim head coach for the ISL teams. Yes. Why don't you take it positively? Where in ISL, our Indian players face much better quality sometimes as when it comes to the foreigners. Many times, like they face one-on-one situation with top foreign players. They do. Like, I give you example. For example, this season Kerala Blasters had entire Indian midfield, only one foreign player. Like, I don't think that is fair. But as Renedy Bhai said, like, sometimes coaches do have strategy. They say something in
Do you guys
media.
do it?
Sometimes,
Do you guys do it?
yeah. Many times I have been an under coach who have done and have clearly mentioned us. Don't read to that. It's just to deviate, like opponents or something, like like playing a trick, like which they have learned from their coaches. And I think that is absolutely normal in modern football to have something like that to play in strategy, because a lot of people do like read, as Renedy Bhai said, social media, and sometimes you don't know, you say something and you say, oh, like opponent teams are like opponent, they are doing good, but this, and sometimes reading that opponents might get a little bit comfortable. It may happen. I'm not saying it's not compulsory. I don't know why coach said that. That is up to, as Renedy Bhai said, if he has already briefed the players. But I think most of the Indian players have played international football in this, except few. As Jaydeep said, or as Renedy Bhai also said, I personally believe, like, forget about these. If I'm a player, I won't take much into that. I will be concentrating on thoroughly जो अपना जो match आ रहा है.
I'll tell you why, Richard. Because see, I totally get when you're talking about Hong Kong having foreigners, when you're talking about Cambodia sitting back, or you're saying Afghanistan as European-based place. Facts, hai. It's not like you're fabricating anything. These are facts, right? But there is one tweet where before 3 very important games, you're saying ISL players are overpaid. You're saying ISL players is comfort level football. You're saying suddenly when you come into international level football, you don't have that quickness to suddenly execute. I am thinking of that, sir. If you're the Indian team, you're of course you're reading this. You're having a conversation about this amongst yourself. This, how do you? I mean, what is the ploy here? I don't get it. What is the ploy here? From a coach's perspective, what could be the ploy here? Audio's off, Richard. You're muted.
Mute.
It could just be that he is reflecting what the common people have said, right? मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि वो खुद के राय बता रहा है. He might just be saying this is what the general public says also. I mean, where the information is coming from, where the opinion has been formed, and many times might just be to rally them up, right? मतलब सब लोग बोल रहे हैं तुम ज़्यादा कमा रहे हो, comfort zone पे हो, तो let's go out there and show them.
Will it really rally them up, Richard? Do you think?
नहीं, overpaid तो नहीं बोला. He said they're on good salaries and then a comfort space and things, which again isn't the worst thing to say also. मतलब ये बोलेगा कि league is bringing out the best in them and this is the best way to prepare and whatnot. मतलब उल्टा भी नहीं बोल सकता है ना. I mean, Ishfaq just gave an example of how to turn it around and things. So I mean, we can't dig in so much into it. And like they said, most of these players, they're here to qualify. मतलब ये एक दो शब्द इधर उधर हो जाएंगे. I don't know how much of a bearing something like this has. I mean, the national team's opinion on level of the league and things. He's there to do his job and I'm sure the players also. मतलब कितना लेने वाले हैं, ये बदला तो नहीं लेंगे ना तुमको. हम लोग हार जाएंगे ज़बरदस्ती, तुमने हमारे बारे में ऐसा कुछ बोला. तो I think if anybody dislikes it, they have enough access to the coach to talk about it directly. मतलब इसमें there's no need to beat around the bush and things, right? तो उसने जो भी बोला है भाई. मतलब there's not so much to read into in terms of it affecting the morale.
I'm just questioning the timing, Renedy bhai. You're a player. You're a top player of your country. You're earning a salary and you're saying, look, I'm bloody well justified to earn whatever salary I'm getting, right? Suddenly you're my coach and you're taking me in to play the highest level of the game that I have played, which is international football and qualifying for the Asian Cup. And you're saying that a majority of my players are overpaid. Players don't, it's comfort level football is what the word was in the ISL, and the level changes.
Yeah, brother, see, it's all depend on how the individual player take it. Some individual player motivate, from this, they will motivate themselves that they have to do better. And it's all depend on how the coach handle them. It's all depend on what's the relationship between the players and the coach. So I feel that we cannot read too much on that. And whatever it is, I know, but I feel if from my point of view, if I'm the coach, I don't need to talk too much about it in the media and stuff. Like Ishfaq said, we just have to play 3 important matches, and I'm sure this is not the best opponent that we are playing, Cambodia, Hong Kong, and Afghan, of course. it will be a tough one for them, but it's better to concentrate. But then again, it's all about individual. Every coach thinks different, and he thinks that to play just before this 3 game, to play with this kind of comments, it may help, it may not help. But I feel as a coach, if I was a coach, I better not talk too much on that. I better try and prepare with my players, saying good things about the players. So I think that's the way. But it's all about individual.
I kind of also Bengali media. He's given it to Bengali media, so there's a high probability of it being misquoted from past experience.
Chances are high.
It has been quoted, but it has not been highlighted.
It has not been highlighted. It has not been highlighted.
It has been quoted. It has, actually, in English media, it has been quoted better, I would say. In English media, say it in Hindustan Times or in Times of India, or for that matter in Indian Express, it has been quoted properly.
Like Jaydeep Basu, Dhiman Sarkar.
Yeah, because he has said it. He has said it. He has said it, quote unquote. He has said it. So he has to be quoted. Reading into it is reader's job. If he has said something, it will go. That's all. It cannot be omitted. And maybe players are not reading into it, but somehow I'm quite surprised. As Arjun says, by his timing, I'm quite surprised.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
surprised
true.
by
That's
the
true.
timing. What he's saying, so can I tell you, what he's saying, with all honesty, is not wrong. No one's denying that. What he's saying is not wrong at all. What he's saying is the mere truth. I think we all know that truth. But I'm just saying it a week before your biggest 3 games. Let's assume this is our biggest 3 games. This is where we are. Which is why I thought, ki if you want to motivate, rally your boys, say that to them off camera. Say you guys are overpaid. तुम लोग तो comfort level football खेल रहे हो. दिखाओ मुझे कुछ तो दिखाओ जितने पैसे मिल रहे हैं तुम्हें. ये आके बंगाली मीडिया को
Arjun, he is suddenly coming down on the system, as if he knew nothing before this. Before arriving in Calcutta to play the team at 3 matches, as if he had no idea how the system is working in India. That is said, I had 140 million people there, so everybody congratulated me. You are going there now. Coming here, I came to know it is full of goalkeepers and defensive midfielders. So something he said.
Yes,
so
yes.
Did
Mostly
he not,
defenders and goalkeepers.
Was he not aware of it in 2019? Was he not aware of it when he came in 2019? And when I am telling you, when he was interviewed in 2019 by the technical committee was very impressed by the fact he rattled off 30 to 35 names of the players.
Yes, he did. He was prepared.
He did. Yes. Ishfaq I am not asking Ishfaq to confirm or deny it.
Unfortunately, Dada, I was not there. I was in Spain that time, but I remember I was told exactly the same thing. He was definitely he was prepared. There is no denying that he was very well prepared about Indian
prepared.
football.
That's why even some people went to the extent of saying whether he was coached by some people in India.
Arjun,
that I'm not very sure about.
But you give credit where credit is due. He came prepared, unlike any other candidate. That is what everyone.
But why he's saying that he came with some idea and he has got absolutely a different idea. See, losing and winning is not a problem. Losing and winning is not a problem. We might lose, we might win. That's not a problem. But you are suddenly started questioning the system after so many days. That surprises people to an extent. That is the only thing. I wish we will go
say something, guys. Here, I don't agree over here.
Man who beat the traffic.
We talking about players whether they are paid. I don't think. Honest, our
आवाज कट रही है इशफाक. आवाज कट रही है आपकी इशफाक थोड़ा.
Is it okay?
हाँ, कुछ टप आवाज आ रही है. Your mic is cutting is the correct word for our producer is saying.
Okay.
आप थोड़ा डिस्कनेक्ट करके फिर से ट्राई कर लो एक बारी. तब तक के लिए हमारे भाई आ गए हैं. मैं हाँ जी रेडी भाई आप आ जाओ पहले.
Yeah, Arjun, for me the simple thing is this is a time, just few days away from the first match. This is a time to motivate the players, because this is a time to make the players happy, because players are the one. Once the whistle starts, they are going to give you everything, So if they don't give, if the players read into too much into it, you will not get that desire or fire. So
have
maybe
you had a phase like this, Renedy bhai, where a coach has gone on when you're playing and he's spoken bakwas about the team, and you guys within the players are saying, "Ye kya bol raha hai, bhai? Why is he saying this?"
Social media was not big enough. Jaydeep that there were a few reporters, Timan and few reporters. So we itna bada nahi tha hum log ka samay mein. And we had a coach like Suki, who is very, very sensible. I had a coach Stephen Constantine after that, and Bob Houghton. They all know how to handle. So for us, these people, they do motivate us, and there is no complaint about that. We're always there. Of course, result acha ho, kharab ho, but then we just keep going, and that's how it was. And now the new generation, the thing have changed. So much of social media, so much supporters expecting, a lot. So now these things are there, and to manage it's not easy. That's why I said, for a coach, I think it's easy just to concentrate, not talk too much before the match.
I have never seen any coach more defending his players so strongly like Bob Houghton.
But a lot of coaches do that. They do find narratives to build around.
I remember before the Cambodia match in 2007, he held a press conference. Somebody asked, "You think you are going to win this match?" He says, "We are going to wallop them." That's what his career was. And of course, India won by a big margin. Not every match it happened like that, but he will come out in support of his players like anything. He will not tolerate anything against his players.
So,
you remember, Arjun, if you remember in...
Yes, let Jaydeep finish first. Let Jaydeep finish.
If you remember in 2009, I think, or 2010, the sports minister was, India's sports minister was the former chief election commissioner who was India's sports minister. I forget his name. He was giving away his prizes in to some players of the 60s and 50s in a function in IIC, in India International Center, where he said these players played in Olympics and they were great players. And current lot of players, he spoke about big players in the 2009-10 Indian football team. The current lot of players will struggle to beat even the Australian, school team, something like that. It was shocking what he said. And 3 days later, on a week later, Bob Houghton held a press conference at the football house in Delhi and ripped apart the minister. He says many ministers, whosoever said it, should concentrate on improving the facilities and infrastructure in India and not talk about the standard of Indian players, whom he has not at all seen.
That's Bob Houghton.
Bob Houghton. It became a problem for All India Football Federation. It became a problem because they had to balance between the ministry and the coach, because they are also indebted to ministry for so many things. They go to ministry every day for something or the other. It became a problem for them, I remember. But Mr. Houghton was not there he was there to defend his voice.
We get your point. I get your point. Sabka, but the point is everyone has a different way of operating. Ishfaq, you wanted to bring in a point before we get Annie into the mix.
I personally disagree. I think when we talk about players are overpaid, I think it's not a case. Then if we compare all the sports and then the football in other part of the world, I don't think players are overpaid. They are top players here, and that is the market here. Unfortunately, we have somehow got this narrative like everybody is overpaid. Why? When Renedy bhai and me, we were playing, when I started playing, I still remember I was playing for 10,000 rupees for HL. And if football players are now getting good salaries where they can get the career out of it, why are we talking about it? I think it's really unfair. What about the kabaddi player? What about the cricket players? Their league is just for 1.5 months. I think it's really unfair when we talk about players are getting paid.
We are happy that they're getting good money, and they should get good money. Yeah, it's fun. Go on. Yeah.
Yes, bhai. I said they should get. They work hard. We know. We work like in 40-degree, 45-degree. Train hard some 2 times. Nobody knows that. At least now little bit facilities has been improved. But earlier they used to train in Goa, like right now they will train at 9. It's 35, 40, and they will train at evening also. I think players do hard work, and they deserve it. And I still believe it's not really, unfortunately, like that big amount. The real sad story is football is not that popular in India. Football is not really a marketing band where teams could generate money. Otherwise, they would have get more money. Like there are certain, I don't want to name the certain league. They just go for 1 month, and some people get whooping 5 crores for 1 month, 1.5 months. Some people get 15 crores.
हमें भी बुलाओ सर, शो करेंगे वहाँ पे.
I'm not talking. I believe players should. They do deserve. They work hard. Like especially footballers, the career is just for 10 years, and this is where they have to make everything for their life.
20 years for Sunil.
You made a good point. Once in a blue moon hai. Richard, you wanted to come in? Otherwise, I'll get Annie bhai.
Just that adding on to what Ishfaq said, maybe the salaries and all that are being dictated by a sports economy. कि ठीक है हम लोग जैसे अभी ये सब स्ट्रक्चर हुआ है, लेकिन इधर भी इस तरफ भी देखना है कि कॉस्ट पर यूनिट ऑफ टैलेंट ग्लोबली, क्रिकेट इज नॉट अ ग्लोबल स्पोर्ट. सिर्फ 8-9 कंट्रीज खेलते हैं ढंग से, तो इंडिया इज बिकम लाइक अ हब. मतलब इंडिया का IPL इज इक्वल टू द EPL. मतलब द बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट ऑफ द बेस्ट इन द वर्ल्ड प्ले इन इंडिया. यहाँ पे अगर लीग का रैंकिंग्स देखेंगे और सैलरीज देखेंगे तो उसमें एक डिस्पैरिटी आ जाएगा. और फिर दूसरा फैक्टर ये भी है कि अबाउट द कंफर्ट जोन पॉइंट, if an Indian player has to go play in the Norwegian league, Swedish second division, Spain second division, उनको ये salary मिलने भी नहीं वाला है, and it's going to be about 36 to 40 matches per season. And I'm not saying Indian players are cowardly or whatever it is. They have the bread and butter to earn. मतलब the career भी, मतलब your peak earning years are hardly 8 to 11 years. मतलब if you're extremely lucky, you play at the highest level. मतलब वो 8-11 साल से भी 7-8 साल आपके वो क्या बोलेंगे ripe periods रहेंगे where you earn your most. But so I think the comfort zone, you see it to the Kuwaiti teams, you see it to the Saudi teams also. I mean, most of them don't leave their domestic league because they're very well supported. मतलब the economy really supports them. लेकिन इंडिया का वो लीग स्टैंडर्ड भी नहीं है अनफॉर्चुनेटली. मतलब जहाँ पे वी आर लेट्स से forging ahead in the AFC Champions League, AFC Cup में we are मतलब miles ahead of where we should be and things. So maybe वो challenge, one way of looking at it is that the salary per unit of talent in India right now is keeping players here, and it should. I mean, our best players should be playing in our league. It should be a matter of pride. लेकिन export factor भी देखना है कि have we got players who are capable of going across? क्योंकि IPL, like I said, is number 1 in the world in terms of domestic leagues. ISL, unfortunately, maybe might just be the best league in India and in the region probably. मतलब ये SAF region जो है उसमें best league रहेगा.
Fair point, sir. Point noted आपका. Annie भाई, welcome to the show. एक वो हमारे एक बंदा होता है ना शो पे जो लेट आता है. थैंक यू फॉर कीपिंग दैट गोइंग. मैं ये पूछ रहा था कि जब, क्योंकि हमारे शो में क्या होता है कि पहले वेटिंग रूम होता है, वेटिंग रूम में आप बैठते हैं, फिर आपको अंदर किया जाता है. आपने सोच समझ के आए थे इस टाइम पे जब सिस्टम पे बार हो रहा था? इसी टाइम पे घुसेंगे. बट बिकॉज वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द कमेंट्स, आई एम श्योर यू रेड. We are talking about the whether the comments are correct or not is a different thing. We are talking about the timing of the comment. A week before, you're playing your 3 most important games. What do you make of it? And I'm talking to you, put on your journalistic hat, right? And where you're trying to assess and see क्यों बोल रहा है? क्यों? अभी क्यों बोल रहा है? What is the point?
No, I think everyone has made relevant points already. क्यों इस time पे क्यों बोल रहा है? I guess because press conference हुई है इस time पे. कंपल्सरी है प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस देना एक मैच से पहले. उसमें लोगों ने सवाल पूछे होंगे, एक तो वो फैक्टर है. दूसरा है कि क्लियरली आई थिंक सम पीपल ऑन द पैनल विल आल्सो एग्री दैट देयर इज द फैक्टर ऑफ हिम लुकिंग एट हिज ओन जॉब इन दिस सिनेरियो एंड देयरफॉर ब्लेमिंग और होल्डिंग एवरीवन एल्स रिस्पांसिबल फॉर द सिनेरियो एक्सेप्ट हिमसेल्फ. It's kind of, and for the last few times that Igor Stimac has made some statements about the quality of football, the team or whatever, it has been along these lines. So I think maybe there is this something in the dressing room that's also not working out for him. I don't know.
I haven't heard him say overpaid. I haven't heard him call it a comfort
No,
league.
no,
This is the first
okay.
time I've heard it.
Overpaid was maybe, I don't know. Actually, we were not again invited for this interview, so I have not heard it firsthand.
Hey, thanks,
But-
AIFL.
But overpaid and all that it's in poor taste. I think what he was probably trying to get at is exactly what Richard and everyone else has pointed out, that you know, if as long as the standard or the number of clubs and the level of competition as well as the frequency of competition in India will remain the same, it's very difficult to then say that you have theoretically a pool of 1.5 billion to select a team from, right? From his perspective, I can understand that logic, but to say that 3 years into the job,
You're not even tapping like 10% of that 1.5 billion.
Yeah, and even if you had so much time during the pandemic, for example, to spend time in India and look for that talent when nothing was happening at the national level, etc., etc. उस टाइम पे आई डोंट थिंक ये लोग इनकी टीम वो सब कर रही थी, अपने घर पे बैठे हुए थे जहां भी उनका घर होगा बाहर यूरोप में जहां पे सेफर बेटर इजियर यू नो सो also doing a job by remote control and then before a major tournament coming out and blaming the system and the players for the scenario that we find ourselves in, then you are also अपने पैर पे भी आप कुल्हाड़ी मार ही रहे हैं because आप कह रहे हैं कि इसमें फिर मेरा तो कुछ लेना देना है ही नहीं. तो like we were saying पहले कि और हम में से भी कोई आके कोच इस टीम को कर ले तो एंड रिजल्ट तो मोर और लेस वही रहेगा. If we I don't know what you did before, unfortunately I was stuck so I couldn't even log in, but if you have analyzed the results of the team since Stimac has taken over, the results have not been neither there has been no pattern that you can really discern that we've done really much better against weaker teams, or we've done okay to some extent we can say against extremely strong teams like Qatar and others. On occasion, we've managed to do decently well. But apart from that, no real patterns that you can make out in terms of how things have changed since he's come in, right? Even this criticism of the club structure, etc., there have been different forums in which these conversations have been happening, including media forums and other forums, right? You're welcome to come and chat about those things, give your tippani on how क्लब का स्ट्रक्चर कैसे बेटर किया जा सकता है, कैसे और क्लब्स को लाया जा सकता है कंपटीशन में, कैसे ब्रॉड बेस किया जा सकता है. लेकिन इन अ प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस अहेड ऑफ एन इम्पोर्टेंट क्वालिफाइंग टूर्नामेंट और इवेंट, मतलब आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड ये सब बात करने का कहाँ से आया है कॉन्टेक्स्ट या क्या जरूरत है इस टाइम पे. इस टाइम पे तो आपका फोकस होना चाहिए कि मेरे ये 11 लड़के फर्स्ट 11 मैंने डिसाइड कर लिया है, अब यही
हमने दिवाली मचा दी है जो भी हो.
बहुत शातिर है, किसी ने जानबूझ के पूछा होगा.
अरे सर वो तो सर आप शक्ल देखो मीडिया वालों की हमारी, हम कौन से यहाँ पे इनोसेंट वाले बंदे हैं.
नहीं भाई, it wouldn't be the first time or it won't be the last time where a coach has or a media manager has come in and said कि this is not the time to be asking these questions, keep it to the tournament. It happens all the time, you know, when somebody asks questions from here, there, left, right, center. तो वो बोल देते हैं कि आप नहीं सिर्फ इस टूर्नामेंट के बारे में सवाल पूछिए. तो ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि इनको इन्हीं बारे में बात करनी थी इसलिए ये सवाल पूछे गए.
भाई कोई बोल रहा है एनी को प्रेसिडेंट बना हुआ है ऑल इंडिया फुटबॉल फेडरेशन का.
हम तो कह रहे हैं सर.
What happened in that press conference is that press conference after 1 hour, the media official who was handling the press conference for the All India Football Federation, he said we are already 1 hour. It's already 1 hour. So, but Mr. Stimac said, he smiled and he laughed and said, these are the people in front of me. I'm meeting them after 2.5 hours. 2.5 years I'm meeting them. So I have a lot of things to say. They may have a lot of things to ask also. Of course,
so
if they have a media person, media manager doesn't want it, I cannot. But finally, it went up to 1 hour 45 minutes. He spoke. So all these things came up with it. Lamba press conference. He said he spoke his mind. He spoke his mind.
In that sense, it is quite possibly like a final press conference in that sense to say like this is my overall. This is
my.
ये तो हमने कतर से पहले भी बोला था. पर
नहीं भाई अब क्या I don't know और समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या सीन है.
भाई मैं क्या कहता हूँ, मैंने एक जोक सोचा था, बिकॉज अगर एनी प्रेसिडेंट बन जाएगा या जो भी है, देन द सीईओ विल बी कॉल्ड द कमिटी ऑफ एनी. ओए होए होए होए. Richard, let's get to the football, bro, because Annie had alluded to sport. Let's get to the game now. जो होनी थी बात, देखो जी, हमने कुछ मैन्युफैक्चर नहीं किया. हमारे सामने दिवाली गिफ्ट आई, हमने दिवाली गिफ्ट को उठाया और उसको एनालाइज किया. वो कहानी होगी खत्म. अब बात करते हैं मैच की. पहला मुकाबला कंबोडिया के खिलाफ, और इस पैनल ऑफ 6 पीपल में एक हमारे साथ जो है रिचर्ड हुड, उन्होंने कंबोडिया को थोड़ा बहुत देखा है. रिचर्ड, व्हाट सॉर्ट ऑफ team can we expect? And then of course we'll get into how you set up versus a team like Cambodia.
I just seen the game against Timor-Leste, so more or less one of the factors was that they play a defensive style more, let's say more on the counter attack. So shape के हिसाब से तो it was a 5-3-2 that morphs into a 3-5-2 when they go into attack. But really well organized from the look of things, मतलब quite well drilled in the back five and 3 playing in front of them, मतलब creating a low block. They seem to be really efficient at doing that. And counter attack में तो वो जो सामने है वाइड हो जाते हैं, whatever it is. I mean there is a certain game plan. इतना complicated नहीं है, और ऐसा भी नहीं है it's क्या बोलेंगे, मतलब it might be something that will disturb us or surprise us. There don't seem to be any elements of that, क्योंकि मेरे को Timor-Leste का तो कुछ idea भी नहीं है. I think they're even lower ranked than Cambodia, right? So they won 2-1 against them, and yeah, but overall it's not something that should be disturbing
Goal scoring threat.
नहीं भाई, ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. No, I really
Right.
from
हमारा
whatever I
अगला
think.
practical pro license में यही होगा, how to beat low block. अभी मैं बोल
कौन सा?
Yes.
मैं सोचा how to beat Cambodia.
Sir, how do you beat a low block then, Ishfaq? How do you prepare for a low block?
low block.
Because how do you prepare for a low block for a team that is generally playing the low block a majority of the year?
Low block is
And you
always
switch.
like many good teams. You have seen City, Liverpool when they play against the teams. They do beat low block by playing faster. You have to just keep switching on people making overlapping run, and you will definitely get, and patience. When such teams are playing, patience is the key. You have to wait for your chance. You don't have to. The moment you start forcing the things, that is when they will win a ball and start counter attack, and they might hit you on the break. I think one of the key thing in beating breaking the low block is patience. Where you keep the ball, move it faster, and people making those midfield runs are so important. As City, like one of the prime example, how midfielders make those runs and then they pick them quickly.
That's a fair point, but Renedy भाई, do we have that? मतलब बॉल तो हमारे पास रहेगा, हम खेलेंगे अपना पैरेलल पासेस, अपने हाथ में बॉल रखेंगे, पोजीशन रखेंगे, ठप मूव.
Brother, to beat a low block, for me, you need great individual quality players. If you can sign 5 Messi is the best person to beat a low block, because he can take on the players. You have to take on the players, right? Because then what I'm scared about is last time we have seen after playing so well against Qatar, when we after Qatar, when we played against Bangladesh played low block, and we were lucky to play 1-1. So now do we have that? Of course, I'm not in Cambodia. Richard have done some research on that, but I have not seen for a long time. We have played against them about 10-15 years back, where we scored 7-0, but it's not going to be the same. But if they stay low block, I don't know. It will be a difficult one. I'm scared about it, because India, we need great quality players. So yeah, we have some good quality players. So it's all depend. It's all the way we have played friendlies. We all have played with the better teams. So now we are playing with a low-ranked team, and it will not be easy. But one goal can change the thing, though. If against Cambodia, if we can score one first, then the gate will open. Otherwise, first half, if we don't score, it's going to be a tough one. Yes.
आपकी 11 दिखा दें एक बारी. Then everyone's got the 11s made today.
So now
if Abhinav can play it, the 11, and then if you can just take us through the 11, why you've got who there, and what you're expecting them to do, considering we're playing a low block now versus Cambodia.
Yeah.
Our producer, yes, बड़े तेज हैं भाई, क्या बात है. ओए होए, आगे जी 11.
Yeah, so this is my 11. Why I'm playing? So when we play against Cambodia, where they're going to defend deep, so this is the team list that I will play. Gurpreet with the goalkeeper, Kotal, Sandesh, Suresh, Brandon will be on the holding, Roshan, So if Apuya was fit, for sure, I would love to see Apuya over there. Thapa, Sahal, Manbir, Liston, Sunil up front. So yeah, so I feel that we need to attack and attack and attack. So we need good quality attacking players. We don't need to defend much. Yes, we have to be careful at the defense. That's why we have Sandesh and Kotal and 2-3 players. So when we have to attack so much, I think these are the for me. I feel that these are the players who can attack and who can score goals.
इसमें रेनेडी भाई फिर आपका बीच का ब्लॉक
There is nothing called block for me. The way I play, there is nothing. In those were gone were the days where we say that lamba चौड़ा को रखना है, defensive heading कराना है. I think if you want to play, यहाँ पे कोई heading का scene नहीं रहेगा when they play low block. So we don't need that tall defensive who can tackle hard. We don't need that. We need good quality players who can move the ball quick. Because we are going to play in their half. So हम लोग का half तो खेलना नहीं है if they are playing low block, or if we are playing against Cambodia, for God's sake. If we are playing against Cambodia, we don't need. Yeah, because Manbir, Sunil, and Liston not out wide, but we like 3 inside, because we need to put our. That's why I put Suresh and Roshan. Suresh they play midfield, but I would love him to see him on the side on the wing, and Roshan, who is a good technical, good. He keep on delivering good from free kicks or from crosses, and he is a good passer of the ball. So that's why we need a good side back going up front, joining Manbir and Liston. We all know that Manbir and Liston, they have got speed, but if they play too wide, Sunil will be all alone up front. So making them little compact, and Suresh and Roshan can come in. And Sundays, we have Kotal, Sundays, and Thapa and Brendan. They can take care. The last.
मतलब आपके अगर सब लड़के चढ़े तो डिफेंस पे आपके संदेश and Kotal will be that.
Sandesh and Kotal, so they are not going to come up. So at least, So Sandesh I think this will be
It's looking like a nice attacking team, Renedy bhai. I don't know if it really turn out to be the 11 that we see on the.
Oh no, I am sure. I'm sure it will not be. I'm sure it will not be. But if I was a coach, I would love to play this.
Fair point. That's a nice 11. Ishfaq, sir, could you take us through your 11, please? And you're mute also, so आप उसको unmute कर लीजिए.
Sir, I think there will be few changes for me. I would like.
आ रही है आपकी 11. हमने बनाई है.
बनाई है.
हाँ, आ गई.
Yes, I will give you my reasons and all that. I think, like when playing the low block, it will be sometimes very difficult to beat them. Then the set pieces crossing becomes very, very important for me. And one of the reason Manveer, Ashik, the physicality, I would love to see them there. Jackson is one person I want to have like in midfield defensive who can, like hold and play, plus he can go for set pieces. We all know he can score with the head. And then there is a lot of height also for me, and there is a lot of good attacking technical player also. I feel this team, like if we are not getting, as Renedy Bhai said, the first goal, then the set pieces become really, really important. Like they might be that like icebreaker. You get the first goal, all of a sudden game becomes open, and then you have the quality players who can do the damage. So one of the reason for me is like why I didn't put Liston. Maybe like
because sir वो goal मार रहा है, एक लड़का जो goal मार रहा है.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you break the first goal and then bringing the Liston in can be really, really deadly. He can definitely use that free places because he's really good in running behind the defense. When it is the low block, then there is no space for him to run. That is the only. And I was a little bit doubtful whether to bring Roshan on right side. Like if I recently heard Vicky is not going to play the first match. Because I made a team on little bit on the set pieces also. So if Roshan will be there, because I have seen we played against wonderful free kick against my team. So I think like that can be little bit add on. Because if Beke is not playing, then automatically Kotal will go in his place. And if I want to bring anyone, I will bring Roshan on the right side because he can play right side also.
Yes, two-footed player. Richard, okay, fine, understood. Richard, what about you, भाई? आपके इंटरनेट गए थे पर आप आ गए हैं वापस. You're back with us, hale and hearty. Is your team around the same lines?
आ रहा है क्या स्क्रीन पे कि मैं भूल
आ
गया
रहा है
मैंने क्या
बस
डाला
ये
था.
सर इसे कहते हैं प्रोड्यूसिंग. जैसे ही आपने बोला फट आ गया.
टाइमिंग सही है.
हाँ.
नहीं मेरे को भी पता नहीं था बेके इज नॉट अवेलेबल सो प्रोबेबली सुरेश बेस्ड ऑन हाउ इज परफॉर्म्ड इन दैट पोजीशन फॉर बोथ क्लब एंड लास्ट टाइम इंडिया प्लेड आई थिंक वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफायर्स के एंड में इसको राइट बैक में डाला था. तो आई थिंक दैट विल बी द रिप्लेसमेंट. द ओनली कंसिडरेशन ओवर हियर इज दैट अगर झिंगन कोटाल और टंगरी पीछे बैलेंस में बैठ जाएंगे और बाकी 7 आगे चल के दे कमिट टू द अटैक बिकॉज अगेंस्ट लो ब्लॉक के फॉर्मेशन का कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. आई थिंक वेर एवर द बॉल इज यू नीड टू हैव मोर नंबर्स इन एंड अराउंड द बॉल टू कंटिन्यू कीपिंग पोजेशन टू ब्रेक डाउन लाइन्स. और वो पेशेंस का जो बात किया था इशफाक ने पहले कि आई मीन यू नीड गाइज ओवर देयर हु कैन कंटिन्यू कीपिंग द बॉल एंड मतलब यू नीड टू कीप नॉकिंग एट द डोर कॉन्स्टेंटली. तो वो करने के लिए यू नीड नंबर्स. आई मीन यू नीड टू कमिट अ हाई अमाउंट ऑफ नंबर्स अप फ्रंट. And look at Cambodia, especially for the first game, they leave only 2 up front. मतलब वो जो 2 मैंने बोला था, it's a 5-3 and 2 with 2 just waiting for the counter attack. तो वो हिसाब से मेरे को लग रहा है if Jingan, Kotal and Tangri stay back and the remaining, if Beke is available or even Suresh with both going and providing width and everybody else just crowding around and trying to combine and break them down. That's the thinking behind this. ये कुछ इंडिविजुअल क्वालिटीज ये सब इतना देखने नहीं मिलने वाला है इन द फाइनल थर्ड क्योंकि भीड़ रहेगी. तो वो हिसाब से सेट पीस डिपेंडेंसी आई थिंक थोड़ा बिट लिटिल बिट ऑफ इंडिविजुअल प्ले एंड थिंग्स बट it's going to be, if at all the block works the way it did against Timor, then it's going to be a really tough team to break down. But again, an early goal, all of those things can change the whole script. So इतना ही है कि मतलब we need to commit big numbers up front to the attack and try and break down their low block. So it'll be 8 versus 7 अगर देख लेंगे उनके 8 और हमारे 7.
Tangri is an interesting choice because he keeps himself busy in that position. He can put on a tackle, he can come up and help an attack as well. It was nice to see that boy in your team. I'm just thinking because एक तो one you're looking for individual brilliance to open up a low block. आपने एक को काटा और खट then पूरी दुनिया खुलती है. That's the way it works. But this changing, this switch, you know, this switching of direction, like Renedy bhai was saying, you got to go right to left, left to right, and keep on doing it till the time you find that opening. That is not our style, na sir. हमने तो अभी तक उतना वो किया नहीं है. We don't sort of show that sort of control even if we're playing against a lower rank team. We are still playing them lower and hoping for someone to open up a team going forward.
उसके लिए ball distribution speed also has to be ridiculously quick. मतलब a big long switch as opposed to sending the ball left to right in 2 or 3 passes at lightning speed. I mean we need those qualities also जो नहीं लग रहा है because as long as the ball is in the air they'll organize where the ball lands and so far what they said the switch is the least effective pass in the final third. मतलब वो अगर low block बैठा हुआ है तो just to shift across and settle up against them again you need to go across. It works against teams that have a little bit of attacking instinct. लेकिन I think even Stimac in one of the comments has anticipated कि Cambodia तो उधर draw के लिए आने वाली है. मतलब they aren't too keen on maybe winning against us and maybe containing us. So in terms of that tactical considerations, technical quality to see through the tactics, over there we might see some obvious gaps. लेकिन जैसे बोला था इनको हराना तो चाहिए. मतलब low block we have struggled against Sri Lanka also not too long ago. I mean we've seen that come up against us जहाँ पे and low block का best quality ये है कि keepers also tend to stand out क्योंकि वो भीड़ में keeper has a much better chance of anticipating shot कहाँ पे जाने वाला है क्योंकि the margin to even get a shot off I mean it reduces a lot, right? मतलब keeper can predict the play a lot more than he would in a expansive team. तो ये सब हिसाब से मेरे को नहीं लग रहा है. वन इज दैट वी हैव टू बीट देम. लो ब्लॉक रहेगा लेकिन उसके बावजूद इनको तो हराना चाहिए जो भी कंसीडरेशंस लेंगे हम.
I think the emphasis from everyone is that you've got to go up and attack, and you really need to भाई पीछे क्या हो रहा है उसको छोड़ दो, इतना मत सोचो उसके बारे में, आगे जाके गोल मारो. जयदीप सर आपकी टीम आप भी along the same lines कि आपकी थोड़ी अलग है?
नहीं अलग क्या है तो they have analyzed it very well, but actually आपने when you asked me to find a team I didn't really think about it. I just put it like that because
You're playing from what I can see, you're playing a 5-3-2.
Yeah, because he generally plays with a defensive mindset. We are saying maybe against Cambodia he will do differently, maybe. But I find him very unpredictable. First of all, I find him very unpredictable. So it becomes very difficult for me to because he changes it so many times that at least I fail to keep up with his thoughts. He maybe have some very well planned things in his mind which I fail to anticipate, frankly speaking. And secondly, I can't believe that we are thrashing our heads so much for a lineup against Cambodia.
Sir,
frankly, I'm very
welcome to reality. West is
so
life.
I think Stimac can pick up his best team in this and can win this match straight away. There's no point thinking about so many things. We are not playing UAE or we are not playing Japan or well, I'm saying चलो या थाईलैंड भी होता तो मैं मान लिया कि चलो म्यांमार है, मान लिया कुछ है. Cambodia will think so much about it. I don't know. अब ये नौबत आ गया जिसको हिंदी बोलते हैं. हाँ. Well, I have nothing against Cambodia. They must be a far improved team or whatever. But I think first match, 3 points should be in our pocket.
चलो सर देखी जाएगी. वैसे ये बात तो आपकी माननी पड़ेगी. कोच साहब अनप्रेडिक्टेबल तो है. कोई प्लेयर को नहीं पता हो कि वो डेब्यू कब मारने वाला है, वो मार देता है डेब्यू सडनली गेम में, तो हो सकता है.
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, कोई भी टीम खिलाए लेकिन जीते. हम कहाँ बोल रहे हैं, हम लोग बोल रहे
जीते, पहुंचो
पहला मैच जीतो, अच्छा कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा तो 3 पॉइंट एक बार बैग में होते. तो अब मैं यकीन से बोलता हूँ अगर हम लोग फर्स्ट मैच जीतेंगे, नेक्स्ट मैच यू विल सी अ more confident team, coming into the ground. Like
you've got to get rid of this hoodoo. You have to get rid of this hoodoo in the first game. No one believes you can score. Just break it.
As Richard ने already ये किया होगा, and this is they will be like that. They will sit. But I still believe, Jaydeep, I still believe what Renedy said. I think we have enough arsenal. Doesn't matter कौन सा टीम खिलाए कोच. मुझे लगता है अपने पास इवन जो नए प्लेयर है, जैसे रोशन जैसे प्लेयर है, आकाश है, all these young guys, I still believe that we have the arsenal to beat them.
Beautiful. Renedy bhai, you've got to leave. Before you leave, Renedy bhai, आप अपने दिल पे हाथ रख के सच के सिवाय कुछ और नहीं बोल के, आसान है मामला, मतलब क्योंकि हम मिलने वाले हैं मैच के बाद, तो शकल पे हमारी स्माइलिंग.
ब्रदर, like
आप थे कलकत्ता में when they played last versus Bangladesh, और तब तो हो गया था ताता थी.
I think Bangladesh is a better opponent than Cambodia.
Certainly.
So I'm not too worried about Cambodia, but I'm worried about Hong Kong and Afghan, which is not going to be easy. So Cambodia को मैं उतना first match को उतना नहीं दे रहा. First match I think we will win and we should win. But Afghan and Hong Kong, it's not going to be easy, right? So I'm a little worried about that. But first match, I'm not worried at all. I think we should win and we will.
Cool. Renedy bhai, look forward to having you with us on all 3 games where we will be going live after the final whistle. Renedy bhai, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
If you could just hang around for a bit, because अभी 2 क्या कहते हैं?
Thank you. Thanks.
Needless playing 11s भी आपके सामने डाली जाएंगी. सबसे पहला मेरा भाई डालो, दिखाओ अपनी playing 11 और म्यूट हो आप, अनम्यूट करो अपने आप. You're mute, brother. You're mute. Yes.
So the team is more or less the same. Yeah, I think guys are getting angry about why we and our experts are picking, guys like Subhashish Bose and Pritam Kotal, etc., in our 11s without understanding that unfortunately the coach has picked these players in his squad, so we are restricted to only those players to choose from. नहीं तो मेसी भाई 5 गोल मार के आए, उनको डाल देते हम टीम में.
नहीं भाई, बट और भी तो लड़के हैं जिनके आप कह सकते हो. बट एनीवे आप बताओ, आपने रोशन को राइट पे डाला है, लेफ्टी पे है, बट इशफाक ने बोला कि
बोथ फुटेड है थोड़ा बहुत एंड डेड बॉल अच्छा कर रहा है. आई थिंक he is also a player that looks pretty confident. He doesn't look overawed by the occasion, playing international football. seems to have fitted in quite well with all of that. Had a good league as well. So I would start him. I'm again looking at it from the same perspective that Cambodia, by everything we've heard and seen a little bit, will sit back and will play on the counter. So we won't need to keep too many players, in our own half defending all the time. So I think Bose and Jingan do that job fairly well, and Bose also can switch in case of injury, etc., etc. He can be moved to an out wide spot. We have replacements to come in case any of that happens. So plus I think in terms of a second centre back, from what I've seen, he's been the most composed and calm of the defenders that we have in the squad, and he's not too good at getting back from attacking positions. So when he does go forward, although he puts in good balls, I don't think he has the ability to get back that well, and so we often get kind of caught out on that kind of counter situation. So him playing in a centre left kind of situation will allow us the cover for the rest of the team to move forward, with maybe Glenn Martins acting as a link between the defense and the midfield. And then the rest are all out attacking players. Manveer on the right, Ashik on the left, Sahel, Brandon in the middle.
आपने लिस्टन क्यों नहीं लिया है? सबसे ज़्यादा गोल तो उसने मारे हैं.
हाँ, but I don't know, yeah, just because I was looking at someone to play in that center attacking midfield, so I think Brandon does that a little bit better. But they can also, we will be using our substitutes. It's going to be hot and humid in Calcutta. So players have the chance to make an impact from the bench as well. It's not that these 11 will play, the next 3 games. Also, I don't know whether we're looking at this as just a preview to Cambodia. I thought we were making our best 11 for the entire 3 games.
No, Cambodia.
Just for Cambodia, then yeah, I think we have a little bit more room to play around. So you start with an all-out attacking sort of lineup and see how things go, and hopefully we get a couple of goals, and then we're, the train is rolling.
सही है भाई. आपने 2 बड़े तेज चीते लगाए हैं अपने फुल बैक पे, वो अच्छा लगा देखकर. और आगे तो हमारे हैं ही चीते, तो होपफुली कुछ खेलने को मिलेगा. आखिरी 11 में अपनी दिखा देता हूँ. ज़्यादा फ़र्क नहीं है, 4-1-4-1 ही है जो अक्सर यहाँ पे देखने को मिल रहा है. सिर्फ सर हैं जिन्होंने 5 खिलाए हैं, बिकॉज ही इज़ फॉलोइंग द स्टीमैच ट्रेंड. अपनी 11 आप देख लीजिए जी. संदेश है और मैं अनवर को रख रहा हूँ जी. आई नो लड़के ने गोल करवाए हैं जॉर्डन के खिलाफ. द डेब्यू वाज़न्ट द ग्रेटेस्ट ऑफ द डेब्यूज, बट just remember also first game and playing against the opposition that you're kind of playing, and that the whole team was sitting back. कुछ कर ही नहीं पा रहे थे वो जॉर्डन के खिलाफ. एकदम ही जीरो लग रहे थे, despite what the coach might have been saying. Also, if you're talking low block, I feel that 1, 2, 3, Roshan, Suresh, Glenn, and going forward, everyone, because उन्होंने ये गलती कलकत्ता में करी थी बांग्लादेश के खिलाफ कि जी बांग्लादेश बैठ गया पीछे, तो आपके जो 2 सेंटर मिडफील्डर्स हैं, आपके जो फुल बैक है, सब अपने हाफ में आके बॉल मांग रहे हैं क्योंकि वहाँ पे स्पेस है. आप सब आगे भागो. संदेश, अनवर will be your center midfielders because उनको स्पेस ही स्पेस होने वाली है. They'll have space on the ball, they'll have time on the ball, and Anwar has that ability of playing a nice long ball, whether it be right to the left. Sandesh not so much, but Sandesh is there because Sandesh is really good as a defender. Roshan on the left, I know Akash Mishra is really good, but Roshan, from whatever you've seen in that small glimpse of him, he gives you that unlocking. He can unlock the defense. He can unlock the player who he's playing against. So he gives you that. So for that reason, he's there. Suresh, I agree with Renedy bhai. He's been harping on about this boy playing a fullback because not only does he labor a lot, he also gives you a lot going forward. So he'll give you that in this game going forward. I like Glenn Martins, like Siddhant. He should be there in the middle because Sandesh और अनवर को मेरे हिसाब से अकेले नहीं छोड़ सकते आप. जितना भी आपने डिफेंस को देखा है, अकेले नहीं छोड़ सकते. एक बंदा होना चाहिए भाई, क्योंकि वहाँ पे फिर वो ना हो जाए कि जी कलकत्ते में हो गया कांड. हाँ, तो आपने ग्लैन का वहाँ पे रखा हुआ है. और उसके आगे देखिए जी सहल. I like Sahel because he's the informed player. Not because Sahel comes in with that name. He's the informed player. The boy has been scoring goals. The boy has been influential for Kerala, getting to where they did in that season. So Sahel must be there. Yasir for me joins him. Not Brandon, not Thapa. Thapa looked off pace completely versus Jordan. Thapa, of course, makes good runs. Thapa likes unlocking defenses by going into different spaces, but in a low block, you will not get the time or space to do that. So instead, you want someone who's good on the ball, who has that little bit of, वो यासिर के अंदर है भाई, उसके पैर में, उसको ढूंढ सकता है बंदों को, और वो सोच है उसके अंदर. राइट पे लिस्टन होगा जो अक्सर लेफ्ट पे खिलाया जाता है. राइट फुटेड प्लेयर है तो उसको राइट पे खिलाओ लड़के को, क्योंकि लेफ्ट पे आपका आशिक खेलेगा. एंड यू कैन स्विच द बोथ players. They're used to playing right, left, left, right, left, right. So that's a good way. And both give you goal scoring threat. And up front जी हमारे हैं शिलाजीत के स्पॉन्सर हमारे सर जो अभी भी चल रहे हैं स्ट्रॉन्ग at the age of 37, God bless him, touchwood, सुनील छेत्री. But जी ये अपनी टीम है. तो अगर आप में से किसी को सवाल है इसके बारे में मेरे से पूछ लीजिए, नहीं तो मैं शो को अब रैप अप करने के समय पे लेके
You can take a few questions if you want. People are getting a bit excited about wanting to ask questions. That's one. And meanwhile, everyone is agreeing on the chat, Pandit, that or everyone is saying on the chat that तेरी टीम जीत गई.
देखो भाई मैं चैट देख के ही टीम बनाता हूँ.
I think your audio. Oh, I have muted. Sorry.
Yes, sir. You muted me.
I have seen
I'm
the
saying...
muted the window.
No, but I'm saying before I'll tell you what, Richard Ishfaq, we'll let you go now because we have a little ticketing matter to talk about. We'll talk about the Venezuela's lead. Ishfaq sir, बताओ जी, आंख बंद करके आवाज़ लेते हुए जी जीत गए इंडिया, पहुंच गए इंडिया चाइना. Easy peasy?
मुझे लगता है इस ग्रुप से मतलब they should be definitely the winner of this group. Even if they मतलब कहीं पे फंबल भी होता है, ड्रॉ भी होता है, but I still believe they should be there.
मजा आने वाला है सर आपको? You're not caring about मजा आएगा नहीं आएगा. You just want.
I am not really. I think this is how to reach to China. चाइना में तो नहीं हो रहा है शायद अब.
हाँ
चाइना में नहीं हो रहा. सॉरी हाँ जहाँ भी होगा.
हाँ भी हो रहा है तो I feel that is important now.
ठीक है सर.
कि पहुंचो भाई साहब.
मजा तो सर जी सिर्फ मुझे आने वाला है इंशाल्लाह क्योंकि मैं स्टेडियम पे हूँगा और बड़े
तब आएगा जब आपका इंटरनेट.
ये बात सही है. ये बात सही है. रियल मैच तो उधर ही पता चलेगा कि क्या खेल रहे हैं कैसे.
बिल्कुल. बड़े अरसे बाद हिंदुस्तान की टीम को देखने को मिलेगा इन द फ्लैश ऑन द ग्राउंड.
अगर लड़के नहीं पहुंचे ना तो हम बोल देंगे पनौती कौन है वहाँ पे.
अरे अगर लड़के नहीं पहुंचे तो भाई पूरा सिस्टम नीचे से ऊपर तक ही गलत है ना.
अगर कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया तो
बट ये भी ठीक है अगर कोच साहब प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आफ्टर आके बोले कि मेरी गलती है इसकी वजह से नहीं पहुंचे हम तो वो भी मानने को तैयार.
वैसे ये बोलना चाहिए जयदीप सर, इट्स बिन अ रेवलेशन. भाई को अक्रेडिटेशन मिली है. भाई जा रहे हैं प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड करने और वो बातचीत करेगा कोच साहब का. ताली बजाओ जी पहले.
There are changes and
3 साल से लगे हुए.
I can promise you there will be more changes.
अभी हाथ में नहीं आया है, पता चलेगा पहुंचते पहुंचते. ट्रेन में जा रहा हूँ मैं राजधानी से. ट्रेन ही रुक गई आधे रास्ते.
Richard bhai, just before Richard, anything you want to add, bhai? Final comments. What are you expecting, bro? And put on your coaching hat. Is it as easy as you're making it sound or looks?
It should be.
Or is it just the game of that first goal? First goal, first match, get the 3 points in. I think that's what the agenda should be. मतलब ये tactics, formation ये सब इसमें इतना factor नहीं होने वाला है क्योंकि बहुत सालों के बाद खेल रहे हैं इनके साथ. मतलब अफगानिस्तान will get to watch them at the stadium. हांगकांग को भी 2 बार देखने मिल जाएगा before we face them. लेकिन ये पहला मैच है मतलब you have to go all guns blazing. जैसे no need to like mince words and look at it from a pragmatic point of view. थोड़ा realistic, idealistic बनना है. मतलब जीतना है भाई. मतलब ये निकाल दो फिर बाकी सब should fall into place. So there's not so much to look into it. मतलब straightforward है ये. Much love to Richard. Much love to Ishfaq for taking your time. I just want to say it, Renedy bhai, much love to him as well. We will be going live after every game. 3 games. जैसी फाइनल विसल बजेगी यहाँ पे तू तक कंबोडिया शुरू हो जाएगी जी. यहाँ पे हमारे चैनल पे आ जाना आप. हाँ क्योंकि बातचीत होने वाली है और हमारा. हाँ जी सर.
बिफोर वी लीव भाई किसी ने, मैं अभी और यूट्यूब पे किसी ने बोल रहा है इतने सवाल पूछे एक ही बार लेकिन पूछा है वो 50 बार पूछा एक ही सवाल है भाई. लो ब्लॉक में लेट मी टेल यू कोचिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, लो ब्लॉक में थर्ड मैन रन सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट होता है. तो भी अगर कोई भी थर्ड मैन रन अगर सही गया.
आप ये समझा दो थर्ड मैन रन क्या है सर. पहले ये समझा दो थर्ड मैन रन.
अनुराग कौशिक.
हाँ वो सुबह से मैंने बोलता हूँ भाई थर्ड मैन रन सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट होता है. थर्ड मैन रन वन ऑफ द बेस्ट टीम फॉर थर्ड मैन रन इज मैन सिटी, जहाँ पे मिडफील्ड से आके बहुत प्लेयर्स पीछे से आके आप एक साइड से खेलते रहते हो, मिडफील्ड से प्लेयर जाता है और वो रन करता है, एक सटीक क्रॉस जाता है, 1-on-1 हो जाता है, गोल मिल जाता है, जो भी, मतलब दैट इज व्हाट थर्ड मैन रन इज. थर्ड मैन रन इज यूजुअली नॉट गेटिंग डिटेक्टेड बाय डिफेंस. उसका नाम थर्ड मैन रन है, क्योंकि
ये
वो
तो थापा स्पेशलाइज करता है सर इसमें सर.
हाँ, थापा बहुत अच्छा करता है इसमें. नहीं, मतलब ये भी करता है क्या, व्हाट इज इट कॉल्ड, अपना लिस्टन का भी अच्छा है पीछे से, मतलब काफी अच्छा रन करता है वो. बट यहाँ पे जब ब्लॉक नीचे होगा तो सबसे बेस्ट बीच में से ही कोई जाएगा. अगर अच्छा क्रॉस आएगा उसको भी ज्यादा स्पेस नहीं मिलेगी, वन टच फिनिश करना होगा. मतलब दैट्स व्हाट जो अपने रिचर्ड ने बोला कि दे स्टे रियली लो, तो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट. तो मुझे लगता है आई बिलीव स्नेल विल स्कोर बिकॉज ही इज रियली गुड इन दोस टाइप सिचुएशन. अगर सर्विस अच्छी मिली.
ठीक है सर.
सर्विस अगर
ये तो
on the second ball chances for some of our midfielders who are coming up in those kind of situations, right?
लेकिन ये इशफाक, ये तो काफी दिन से ये चल रहा है. मतलब इंडिया टीम हैज प्लेड लाइक दिस बिफोर आल्सो, इजंट इट? आपके टाइम पे भी खेलते थे, थर्ड मैन मूव पे ऊपर खेलते थे, जैसे कि हमारे जैसे एमपी प्रदीप होते थे, आपको यू रिमेम्बर प्रदीप? वही खेलते थे प्रदीप. मास्टर था इस पे और बहुत यूज भी करते थे.
मैं आपको बोलता हूँ तब प्लेयर्स लाइक जेम्स सिंह, रेनेडी सिंह, स्टीवन डायस, वो भी होते थे ना, जो बॉल
डिलीवरी थी सर, डिलीवरी.
वो एक होता था ना, वो जो ब्राजीलियन ईस्ट बंगाल में होता था, क्या नाम था? डगलस. हाँ, वो भी बहुत अच्छा होते थे.
वो पीछे से बहुत जाता था सर. हाँ, लंबी स्ट्राइड.
खैर उसका डिफेंसिव क्वालिटी भी अच्छा था, ऐसी बात नहीं.
मतलब आई एग्री विद अपना रिचर्ड से कि भाई, मतलब दिस इज सी, पहला मैच कभी भी थोड़ा बहुत नर्वस होते हैं, डजंट मैटर कौन से मैच, या मतलब एक छोटी टीम के साथ खेल रहे हो या आपसे कम वो लोग खेलते हैं, बट जस्ट गेट दिस विन. मैं बोल रहा हूँ वी विल बीट हांगकांग एंड इवन अफगानिस्तान. Just these 3 points will do the trick. The first match is the trick.
Ishfaq, Richard, much love to you. We will see you soon on 8th night.
See you guys. Thanks for having
us. As soon as the game is over. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. देखो जी, अब बैठे हैं 3 पापी. एक हैं तूतक कंबोडिया, एक हैं सर और एक हैं एनी. सर, ये टिकटिंग का क्या सीन है? What is the eventual situation? How many tickets have been let out? How many people are coming? Are we going to see a packed stadium? Was it the government that said that you cannot fill up the stadium? The same government that has given go ahead to IPL games at the Eden Gardens, which is not too far away, for a packed stadium.
See, government. First of all, let's not blame the state government for a change, because government has not said. Government said you can put in as many people as possible, as you want to. Government never said it. It is a section of in the All India Football Federation. They are also like Ishfaq Stimac, speaking negative things always on the eve of the match. He said there won't be more than 15,000 people on the ground. So actually, I am telling you, Arjun, let's take it. I'm saying it quote unquote. There is actually one official who is still saying that I will change my name if more than 15,000 people come to the ground.
No, but if 15,000 come or 50,000 come, what is the thing here? You're assuming 15,000 comes, so you'll cut off on a certain number of stands. You don't have to pay that much on match day. Is that?
No, that is not the thing. They said कि मतलब अब ये है कि इनको था कि यार जब इससे ज्यादा आदमी नहीं आएगा, स्टेडियम वाइट रेंट द स्टेडियम. Stadium rent is only 15 lakhs or 12 or 14 lakhs or something like that is the stadium rent, or 12 lakh ऐसा कुछ है. So say if you then state government is giving it free. So let's not rent the stadium. Print only 15,000 tickets from my and sell it. Not sell it. Distribute through the what do you call it, bookmyshow.com, and that's okay with that.
But why? So what is? I don't understand. What is the reason? As in, what do you get out of saying?
It's
इसका कोई reason नहीं है.
Communication, mismanagement, the same story.
Bad planning. I've written about it. Matlab, it has not. I don't know whether it has come out. Yesterday only I wrote about it. So so that is. See, the thing is that they think not more than these people will come. So somebody, and after Sunil Chhetri made some noise, which he rightly made some noise, then COA, somebody tipped off COA. Then Qureshi Saab is in Kathmandu. He's coming tomorrow from Kathmandu. He called up AIFF and said, "What is this? Does it keep me here?" I said, "Please talk to the state government." State government said, "Okay, you wanna let's go and print 50,000 tickets." So they have so far printed 50,000 tickets. And the thing that, or not that the entire 50,000 tickets are with the federation. A bulk of the ticket has been taken by the state government. IFA has taken a lot of tickets. The marketing partners have taken some tickets. So 50,000 tickets will be distributed. And how? This is only about the first match. Remind it is about the Cambodia match. But the funny part of it is that is the biggest funny part of the entire episode is that the AIFF, the All India Football Federation, will still end up spending 8 to 12 lakhs for this match, because they will have to hire the generator, they will have to keep the fuel ready, and it doesn't come easily. It costs money. You have to print 50,000 tickets. You have to arrange bookmyshow.com or whosoever is a particular agency to distribute your tickets through that. So finally, AIFF will end up paying, say, 12 lakhs or so, I think. So what Siddhant is saying is absolutely right. It is downright poor planning. It only shows that the erstwhile committee, of some of whom are still working here, how badly briefed and, let's not say bad words about them, but it is in front of you how it has been handled. That's what we can say.
At least the positive is that the matter came to whoever's notice it had to come to ahead of time, and the tickets have been put on distribution, and hopefully we'll get 50,000 people in the ground tomorrow.
But यार अपनी पैर पे बार-बार कुल्हाड़ी मारे जा रहे हैं.
As Siddhant, as you said, the silver lining of this one thing, had this been in the hands of the erstwhile committee, they would have been driven by ego and continued with the same system. But since it has gone to a different committee, an independent committee who have no axe to grind actually. See, whatever we say, the COA has no axe to grind. So they picked it up and solved it. It was solved in a couple of hours. Have all
the tickets been sold out?
Yeah.
It has been distributed, not sold out. There is no selling, Arjun. It's a compliment.
You book my show, you make your reservation. Every person is allowed up to a maximum of 2 or 4 tickets. I'm not sure. They're free tickets.
Not all the complimentary tickets have not been put on Book My Show because the state government has taken a bulk of the tickets.
Yeah, state government will give some, AIFF will give some, IFA will give some.
IFA got it. FSDL will get some. So everyone is getting their share of tickets. But only thing,
one is you are arranging a match for 50,000, 70,000 people in a stadium. You need to then make sure आपके stadium में पानी है, आपके सारे toilets functional हैं. Security for all of those people.
उसके लिए they were never किसी ने मना नहीं किया था. State government ने कभी मना नहीं किया था. State government कहा कि आप करना कर लो. क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
नहीं सही बात है. मैं मना की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. मैं कह रहा हूँ all of these logistical arrangements have to be made. So अब आपको 1 साल 2 साल हो गया है. You are spending time organizing tournaments, but all behind closed doors. So I think there's a level of comfort that has also created for the guys on the ground who are working in the match operations part of it. Because अगर आपके 70,000 लोग कम आ रहे हैं मैच देखने तो आपका हेडेक काफी कम हो जाता है. तो उनको लगा होगा.
Is it the way to handle the national team?
That's not even a debate. Of course it's not. And I think
when in the previous match, when did you last play a match in Calcutta? That was on 15th of October 2019. when India played one of his worst matches in recent time, when they drew 1-1 with Bangladesh. It was one of their worst matches. 61,000 people turned up for that match. 61,000 turned up.
No-brainer.
In which tournament it came in a World Cup qualifier. You are pretty sure that India will not qualify for the second round. It never happens.
एक बात पूछूं, ये जो अभी 3 मुकाबले हैं, if you're part of a federation where you're saying जी बंदे नहीं आ रहे हमारी टीम को फॉलो करने के लिए, one of your prime jobs is to make sure the sport grows, the number of people that follow the team grows. This is like a happy Diwali for you कि जी यहाँ पे there's a scenario कि you can move in, so जी I promote the life out of it.
3 matches back in your main.
That's what Sunil Chhetri said. Sunil Chhetri said that then what about the people who are promoting the matches? What about them? What the hell they are doing? He didn't say in as many words, but that's what he meant, and he was not far from the truth, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, अगर कोई बोल रहा है, ऑर्गेनाइजर ही बोल रहा है 15,000 से आदमी ज्यादा नहीं आएगा, फिर आप क्या कर रहे थे बैठ के? And you know about this matches for the last 3 months.
पैर पे क्यों कुल्हाड़ी मारते रहते सर, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है ये, मतलब इतनी बारी तो कोई पैर पे कुल्हाड़ी नहीं मारता, मार ही जा रहे हैं, ठटक लगी जा रही है.
See, I shouldn't say it, but there is a section of the people who are even cooking up some conspiracy theory, which is of course done in India on every issue, that they wanted to show everybody in poor light, perhaps. As it is, some people are quite disappointed that India have not been banned.
Not been banned, but वो तो हमने बोला था सर ban नहीं होने वाला है.
उन्होंने नहीं, but कुछ लोग तो काफी disappointed है ना. कुछ लोग यार.
If you can hear from my tone, I'm a little tired honestly, because this is like बड़े टाइम बाद तो हमने फुटबॉल की बात करी, पर घुमा फिरा के ये कुछ ना कुछ तो होता ही है जिसके बारे में बात करना पड़ता है. एनी भाई, कब जा रहे हैं आप, बताइए जरा हमारे नौजवानों को, क्या कर रहे होंगे वहाँ पे, कब तक होंगे वहाँ पे? ये देखिए जी, हैशटैग चला दिया है. और क्या आप सवाल करेंगे? सवाल करेंगे साहब से, कोच साहब से.
इसे कहते हैं जंपिंग द गन. जब पहुंचने जब कार्ड आएगा हाथ में, पता चलेगा एक्सेस है स्टेडियम और प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए, तब अनाउंस होती है.
विल के बाद नॉट डाल देंगे ना, फिर हैशटैग विल नॉट बी एट द प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस.
ठीक है. तो एनीवे, नहीं करना क्या है, मैच देखेंगे इंडिया के. होपफुली देयर विल बी सम प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस, विल गेट टू एक्सेस सम ऑफ द प्लेयर्स एंड द कोच. ऑफ कोर्स हेड कोच. It's an AFC tournament, so the head coach is mandated to attend, or at least somebody from the coaching staff is mandated to attend the post-match and pre-match press conferences. Now that the stadium is
open, never had any problem. I don't think coach ever had any problem. You think so?
Yeah, I don't think so. Even I've not heard.
Coach never had any problem. I think if some other people had problems.
No, I don't know.
Some other people. I think never had any problem. Coach wanted to talk.
हुआ था कि दूसरे तीसरे प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में आए नहीं थे. Anyway, जो भी है सीन, all I'm saying is press conference होगा, तो hopefully एक तो on the ground देखने को मिलेगा actually things that are off camera, you can't make out.
अगर आप accredited हो जाएंगे, मैं तो अगर कह रहा हूँ, तो आपको एक्सेस मिलेगा ट्रेनिंग पे जाने का कि नहीं मिलेगा?
I think they'll have some open training sessions, not all. At least for 15 minutes they do some bits. But in those training sessions you don't get to see much, Pandit. All coaches around the world now are aware of this. It's essentially so that people who have cameras, television people and such, can come and take stock shots of your players. And so generally they just do warm-ups and they do some maybe drills that look good, little keepy-uppy rounders.
जब से आपने खुलासा किया है कि आप जा रहे हैं कलकत्ते, सब लड़के कह रहे हैं एनी भाई को बोलो कि इनसाइड इन्फॉर्मेशन निकालेंगे, जो भी हो रहा है वहाँ पे, कैंप में हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, आप निकालो सर. तो आप घुस जाओ, आप दिखा दो अपनी इन्वेस्टिगेशन दिखाओ.
वैसे तो इनसाइड इन्फॉर्मेशन 420 ग्राम्स आप फॉलो करते रहिए, सब्सक्राइब कीजिए, लाइक कीजिए. फॉर इनसाइड इन्फॉर्मेशन तो हम देते ही रहते हैं. हमारे सबसे बड़े इनसाइडर तो यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं हमारे साथ बीच में. और प्लेयर्स की तरफ से जो बातें होती हैं, जो इश्यूज होते हैं, जो थिंग्स रिजॉल्व नहीं होते हैं, वो बातें भी हम करते रहते हैं. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि कलकत्ता जाने की ही जरूरत है इनसाइड इंफॉर्मेशन लाने के लिए।
नहीं, पर आप वहाँ पे हैं, आप जाइए ना भाई, थोड़ा माहौल को चखिए,
हाँ
सूंघिए, बताइए
बिल्कुल
हमें।
माहौल पूरा टेस्ट करेंगे, सब देखेंगे। एंड ऑल्सो इंटरेस्टिंगली इनफ आफ्टर दिस एंड लॉजिकली लाइक सो दिस इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ व्हाट कुड बी प्लानिंग। द फुटबॉल प्लेयर्स एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया इज हैविंग देयर little they have an annual meeting for their members, etc., and some kind of awards night where they recognize the best performing players in the previous season. They are doing it. They have planned to do it in Kolkata because the national team players will already be there. So it is not that nobody in India or Indian football has that ability to look slightly ahead and plan. Planning हो जाती है।
पकड़ना लड़कों को, तभी बोलना आजा कोने में आजा भाई, चल बात।
हाँ, तो कोने में हाँ, तो खुल्लम खुल्ला बात हो रही होगी ना, तो
हाँ, वही तो भाई, यही तो इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए हमारे लड़कों को।
सब निकलेंगे, तो उसके बाद थोड़ा करेंगे हम लोग बात, जो प्लेयर लोग बोलते हैं कि
वो दूसरी बात है कि जब ये बंदे प्लान कर रहे होते हैं, they don't broadcast it, we broadcasted it that we plan to do this, so all the best in doing it. ठीक है भाई, yes gentlemen, very nice show. I think it was a really nice show today. We got a lot of points out. Anything else you guys want to add?
We will win this tournament. We will win this tournament.
9 points.
9 points. I said I don't know whether 9 points or maybe 7 points. I don't know, but I think we'll win this tournament. If we don't win this tournament, then disappointment will off. But I'll be very surprised if we don't win this tournament. तो whatever जो भी मैं सोचा था सब गलत निकलेगा इसके बाद।
आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर।
And it will be unfortunate if we don't win this tournament and don't qualify. But at the same time, it will give us a chance to rebuild, to start looking at, several people on our show have said this. Baichung has said it. Renedy has said it time and again. All of the coaches have talked about it. We need to concentrate on age group football, the under 20s, the under 16s, the under 17s, the under 19s, under 23s even. These guys need to be playing much more games and building into a senior squad. So if by some chance we miss out on this 4-year cycle, which means we now are planning for the next Asian Cup, which will happen in 2027, right? With a view to then perhaps building on that to qualify for the 2030 World Cup, which is a 48-team World Cup. So it gives you then a proper 10-year period in which you can actually stop people like us from, going on these regular rants, actually make some kind of a plan and then do something with it, because the environment is right. The fans are there. You can see the kind of support Indian football has. Within hours of these tickets going up on the website, complimentary or not, they have gone off, right?
But I have a small question. Siddhant, what about 2026 World Cup qualification? Is it not coming?
वो तो सर एक इंटरव्यू हुआ था मिस्टर पटेल का सिलेक्ट जर्नलिस्ट के साथ ना कुछ दिन पहले। ये वाला सवाल आपका वहां के लिए था। आप गलत जगह पूछ रहे हैं।
और ये भी हो सकता है कि बोलने वाला नहीं है तो होगा भी नहीं, ये भी हो सकता है।
क्या पता?
हाँ, क्या पता, जो बोल रहे थे वो बेचारा वही नहीं है तो कहाँ से हो जाएगा।
बड़ा मजा आया। Thank you for your time. Lovely show. We hope you enjoyed watching the show. यार मैं चैट नहीं, कमेंट्स नहीं ले रहा दोस्त। अबे बातचीत ही इतनी चले जा रही है यहाँ पे, कमेंट्स कैसे लूँ आप मुझे बताओ यार। आपको एक टाइम पे भी लगा कि हम थक रहे हैं या हम फंस रहे हैं कि कुछ बोलने को नहीं है, पर जब सब लोग, जिन लोगों को आप सुनना चाहते हैं वो सब आए, तो फिर कैसे लूँ यार। अंडरस्टैंड दैट, बिकॉज वी ऑलरेडी गॉन 1.5 घंटे का शो कर लिया हमने, तो फिर कैसे करें भाई। प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड। जस्ट अ रिमाइंडर, हमारा भाई कलकत्ते में होगा, मैच देखेगा, मैच के बाद प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करेगा, प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में नहीं जाने को मिला तो उसके बारे में बातचीत करेगा, कुछ भी करेगा पर करेगा, और हमारे साथ जुड़ेगा मैच के बाद।
नहीं ऐसा क्यों होगा, नहीं ऐसे मजाक कर रहे हैं। ऑफ कोर्स दे विल, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा। we will attend and we will hopefully have some constructive conversations and understand a little better what the thinking of the coach is.
ठीक है सर, thank you for bringing us back on track. But just want to say that Renedy, Ishfaq, Richard, Jaydeep sir, Annie, me, the 6 of us will be here regularly. and we will be coming live as soon as the final whistle is blown, right? मतलब as soon बोल दिया तो मतलब 10 मिनट 15 मिनट तो कहीं नहीं गए, but आ रहे हैं, मैच के बाद आएंगे।
अगर प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस जाने का मौका मिले तो थोड़ा मुझे समय दे दीजिएगा, थोड़ा
सर
भागना पड़ेगा।
आपके लिए तो हम वेट करेंगे, 2.5 घंटे
क्या
का
आप
शो ना करना पड़ेगा।
10:30 बजे में करोगे? 10:30 बजे करोगे?
जैसी फाइनल
और क्या
विसल, हाँ
है?
10:30 बजे, 8:30 का शो है
नहीं,
तो सर 10:30।
see, I have no problem, but is it okay? Okay, not a problem.
Yeah, sir, because match
The next show we do, we should have started this show by asking 10:30 बजे करें या ना करें, because हमारे जितने भाई लोग आते हैं वो तो आ रखे हैं आज भी।
हाँ, सब जवान है सर, ये रात के सिपाही हैं, ये सब के सब, तो इट्स कूल, करेंगे, ठीक है जी। Thank you so much, guys, and thank you to all you lovely people who stuck around and heard us talk about Indian football. You're watching 420 grams, and we will now see you on the 8th. Thank you for watching.